Got the fresh cut. Got a little sunburned over the weekend. So here we are doing another live stream. Let's make sure everything's doing good. Well, sure, yeah, you can email me. Make sure everything's going here. Alright, now we're rocking and rolling. This is definitely something I'll be looking at. Pembroke Pines, that's where they opened their customer service center. Somebody had brought that up to me in a recent stream that they had actually cut some employees there, and I was able to find this very, very tiny article, which is like not even an article because it's behind a paywall. But I'm gonna try to look into this more, see if I can find some data on the 10K. Still haven't 100% gone through every little detail. I mean, obviously I've gone through the bulk of it at this point, but just, step by step, brick by brick, I'll just keep looking at the little details, and I want to find stuff like this. Like, oh, well, they cut employees at their customer service center they recently opened, so what was the deal on that? And I do just want to text something in the chat real quick. Test. Hey, Jacksons, thank you for being here. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Monday. Trying to just really get situated with OBS. I mean, I'm pretty much situated, but every time I open it, it'd be looking different. And I'm really trying to start on time because I'm always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna start right on time today. And then I open OBS at like 6:55, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like stuff like that. So another learning curve there. But this is definitely something I'm gonna look at. Got the Chat GPT for the random questions. That's a little bit better than Google. Make sure I'm actually going over here. Yep. Everything looks good. Just to make sure once I see myself. Well, yeah, also it's going right here. So we're chilling. Oh damn, I gotta put, yeah, the chats to the side. Yeah, it's definitely weird with the chat, trying to keep it on the screen. But also I'm like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even bother to put it on the screen, but I don't know. Stick with me, guys. I'm figuring out all the tiny stuff like this. But at least I see it running on the other side. I don't know why it's not running right here, but we're chilling. Yep, and I definitely want to touch on, you know what, why not just start with this? The drama with Investor Turf and the professor. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. Let's see. I don't know. I understand the professor's a controversial guy. That's just like the nature of his Twitter. But this account, Investor Turf, I find extremely sus. And anybody that's super pro GameStop, they force associate AMC, Bed Bath, these other names, and a name like this, right, with this many followers, is gonna come up in people's feeds, and people see it in their feed. Well, what's Investor Turf? Click on it. They see this as the pinned tweet. They're like, oh, okay, it's another one of those like AMC, BBY, GameStop people, right? Like that's how they start to. What the fuck is this? I'm sorry, I couldn't even. What is NCHMI? What is the? Oh, I swear it's the first I'm seeing this. What the hell is NCMI? Tetron live reaction right here. I'm surprised it's not trending, considering AMC is touching it. Wow, that's remarkable. What is NCI? Or what the? Nationals. Okay, that one actually makes sense. Kind of, right? I mean, I don't know what the terms of the deal are. But damn, that's a big jump. But any movie theater, right? At least they're in the right industry this time, not mining gold. How's Hycoff doing? What HYMC? Oof. Remember last time AMC took a passive stake? Thanks. But at least that would kind of make sense. Not saying I think it's a good investment, but so that totally just threw off my entire like train of thought right there. Let's see. Okay, well, there's no official article on it yet. Or article, let's see. AMC. Okay. It was a super Easter weekend. I can't believe I'm doing this right now. But I gotta know what's going on. Good evening, Tetron. Investor Danza, thank you for being here. Spitting facts in the chat. This guy using direct attack against Professor. He knows him. It must be an ult. It could be Danzo. It could be. Xfit, thank you for being here. What up? Hello, hello. Cheersingtons in the chat. But yeah, no. What to finish my point, because this totally just threw me off. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And if you're logging on this stream right now, and you're like, why is he going on AMC Investor Relations? I want to see what's going on with what just happened. According to Investor Turf. Danzo, you made me say the wrong thing. And look at this bozo. Bro, you think you're Luigi or something? Like, why are you next to Mario? Like, record revenue! Oh, so stupid. NCMI. So, if you're logging on right now, you're like, why is he on AMC Investor Relations? I want to read the terms of the deal live. Just saw it came out. But, where is it? Or is this just some story being told? Should I reply? Create AMC advertisements. AA already dumping shares. Alright, whatever. Bro. Oh my god. Alright. I don't want to make this a clowning on AMC stream. But where I'm going with this, and tweets like this by Investor Turf. Look at it. AMC is a passive 1%, currently up 115% after hours. Okay, fine. He's saying, or she, or the group, whatever they are, that was something happening with the company. And I understand you can cover these various stocks, right? Fine. But the issue is, like, people see this account in their feed, they're like, what is this? And they go, oh, well, this is just another one of those accounts or one of those people that's like, fight back against Wall Street. Where it's like, investing in GameStop is a fight back, essentially. Whereas it's not this big, we're all doing this, we're all doing that. Just a bunch of individuals like GameStop. And that's the protest, so to speak. So people see accounts like this, with all caps and all this, like, shit, basically, and then in my eyes, they're associating it. They're like, nobody will ever take GameStop seriously as an investment, seeing names like this tied to it, and that's individuals' faults for not like looking deeper into it. But for example, right, like this one here, wanted to provide a specific example. We've been running an experiment to observe the response of various accounts when we use the word Citadel. To our surprise, every time we mention the word, a wave of accounts attack us, which we find suspicious. Additionally, we have noticed that many of these attacking accounts display a pirate flag and are located under the Show More Reply section. So that's obviously a dig at people known as GME elitists. I'm proud to be one. I don't care. I love the stock, so that's fine. I'm not worried about these other names. But the issue here, or this is just what I think, right? It's always just what I think on these live streams. But what I'm seeing reading this is reverse psychology type shit. Oh yeah, every time we use Citadel, we're attacked. Ooh, something's going on here. Whereas it's like, not that they wouldn't. It's like a reverse in the sense, the people, like the attack, it's not actually an attack. It's people calling them out, saying like, you're just stealing old information from Superstock, for example, stuff like that. So people calling them out, saying things like that, and it always happens to be in like a tweet with Citadel. Then they say, oh yeah, well, we always get attacked on Citadel. Proves how suspicious it is, doesn't it? So to me, it's like a reverse psychology what this tweet is here, making it seem like, oh yeah, we're running an experiment. Like, I don't know. I was very suspicious. That's just one instance. Is this another? This game, Market Watch sucks Donkey Dong. Shout out to you. You always put out true GME elitist. GameStop requested SEC approval. Oh, okay. This is a point I want to make later, so we're gonna circle back to that because that's not exactly the point I was going with here. Investor Turf's tweets. Where is it? I literally had them. I had another. Damn, I can't find them now, but whatever. We could just go on their Twitter and scroll through it. See, talking about AMC. General stuff, right? But let's get to the drama. Furthermore, we're in an unprecedented scenario. Companies directly against each other, and yet CEO of one firm is defending the other. Don't fall for Douglas's lies. Let's see. Like, obviously, them holding this, like, and this account used to be. I wanna try this. I've never really fully done this. Well, I have a little bit, but this used to be, from what I understand, an AMC pumping account. Like, we all got to fight back against the shorts. And where I'm going with this all also is the biggest way to fight back against shorts is to deliver shareholder value. And that's kind of why I made that video today. I was seeing all this, thinking about all this, and I'm like, well, the best way to fight back against short sellers is to deliver shareholder value. So why I had this tweet up here, or this one. Who remembers when the idea kept being spammed out of nowhere, only for the AMC botnet to copy it and being Adam Aaron for the same thing, and then he gave them a shiny "I own AMC" gif, which I doubt people are proud to flaunt now. And then, yeah, Tenny Bear had tweeted, GameStop requested SEC approval to emit 3 shareholder proposals for the annual meeting, one of which requested NFT dividend. Creating NFTs is based one-on-one basis on shares would have required significant resources, said the company. This finally put the NFT dividend speculation to rest. Yes. Personally, I'm starting to think yes, because I just think it's a possibility. And then what I kind of realized over time is like, wait a minute. One, yeah, it's going to be a lot of resources, a lot of time, effort to make that happen. And even if they do, think about the amount of like lawsuits. They'll be drowning in legal fees. Oh, well, you can't do that technically because of this. Like, speaking generally, when something's not the right way and somebody with a lot of power, they can just change, kind of bend the rules, right? Kind of change the rules. We've seen it before. Has the buy button never been turned off? Like, that was so unprecedented. So my point is, unprecedented rules can just kind of come out of nowhere, in my opinion. So even if GameStop tried to do something like this, it might just ultimately work out to be a waste of time and effort due to the fact, like, who they're fighting against technically, or people betting against GameStop, theoretically have like strong influence. So that's why I kind of realized, I'm like, well, it's not the best route because they're gonna have to deal with so much shit to even try and do it. And even if they did, they might just wiggle their way out of it again. So that's why I realized, I'm like, wait a minute, if the company's just delivering shareholder value, it just focuses on the business itself in the long term, naturally anybody betting against it is going to be in bad shape. So anybody that wants to keep betting against it is just literally digging themselves in a deeper hole if the company ultimately succeeds. And that's why I'm like, oh, it really, really makes sense, shareholder value. I know I've been saying it for a while. I'm not like, oh, I don't know where shareholder value. But I still thought NFT dividend was a potential type of thing that could happen, or just something on the radar if it could tie into the marketplace in some way, or this or that. But then I realized, like, no. And it wasn't like this particular tweet, but just these various ideas I'm throwing out there right now as I'm just starting to stream in a full rant. Those are some of the things going through my head. And yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of narratives, and I mean, there's always been a lot of narratives, but a lot of controversy, right? Let's get to that. That's the fun stuff with the professor. And an account like this, Investor Turf, like, they're being called out and they just like are calling out the professor. Like, it's just weird, it's just weird. And a lot of emotions involved. And that's what I realized too. I don't even want to like argue with these people. People are too many crazy people out there these days. But let me check chat real quick. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling today. This guy's direct Spencer. He knows him. It must be an alt. Could be. Wendy, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. When the market crashes, will hedgies cover GME shares? LA, thank you for being here. Personally, I think it won't necessarily line up with like a market crash or anything like that. But if we're in a time period where the market as a whole is still struggling, then theoretically, and GameStop starts succeeding, and maybe they start buying back some shares, or they basically have some kind of bullish announcement that starts appreciating the price, that puts a lot of pressure on short sellers, especially if their collateral is tied up in long positions, and a majority of long positions are falling because the market as a whole is falling. So I think the market falling absolutely puts pressures on short sellers, but ultimately it really boils down to GameStop succeeding. Hello, everyone's saying yo. G America, thank you for being here. GameStop bought games at 2 stores this weekend. Only had bad selection, but one was pretty good selection. I wish they bolstered their inventory. Solid Nate, thank you for being here. Yeah, so I know obviously inventory went down a little bit quarter over quarter. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. And yeah, of course, it's always nice that they have the most inventory possible, but at the same time, I think they have to be very strategic in how they're playing out their inventory or where they're putting their inventory, rather, in terms of store to store. But I feel like over time, just more and more knowledge and through data will allow them to make better and better decisions and hopefully, restock individual stores so it's as best as possible. Um, all right, let's get to the drama. I want to, yeah, this guy, investor term. I think whoever the professor like called out who he was. Yeah, wait a minute. Let's step back here. If I remember correctly, the professor was like, "Hey, this was your first ever follower, and like liking all your tweets. This is probably you." And the guy or Investor Turf got mad defensive, and now calls out professor like, "Oh, look, it's you, it's you." So I don't know what's going on here, but it's fun to watch. I mean, let's not deny that. Yeah, I'll just go to Short Destroyer. Ah, but at the end of the day, this is all fun to read and look at. But I think it's best just focus on GameStop. um, Zero transfer, always backpedaling when exposed. Tries to use imitation sounds critics. I, I love the professor's like savagery. Like, I mean, love him or hate him, like you gotta at least laugh. Like, fucked with the wrong person, and I don't know. These two are going at it. Um, damn, badass involved too. I think I saw that earlier today. Best using standing at plan accounts unfollow and stop engaging with the account. Yep, I do agree. It's not even worth engaging. More proof is just JP versus Wall Street. As many pointed out, not only do they speak the same, and this was investors first Turf's first follow, but also using the same attack on me he previously used. It's black and white now. Remember, you guys, he's a pro GME stock basher. Yeah, I do think it's this guy, honestly. It could be. Because, yeah, look, wait a minute. How did he have this? He had the exact same thing he just posted on Investor Turf, posted today. Wow. I could, I sometimes guys on these streams, I'm just like realizing everything in real time. I'm like, this is pretty crazy. That's how JP for Wall Street, aka Investor, feels about GME. Yep, seems like an AMC pumper. And it's pretty crazy the heat on Twitter, man. The heat on Twitter. This is the most unprofessional post of yours. I was discussing the docs one. This and now roped in. Yeah, because if that's actually like I don't know shit, right? This how do we really know this is the professor? If it's not, then that random dude is like just being like dragged through the mud. I love Badass Chair. He'd be flaming him on Twitter. Oh my god, I thought this was a reply to this. I was like, what the heck? I was like, Polty. Fetch the admins. He posted I made them delete it. However, short story is extremely annoying. Likes to attack others and they brings plays victim. Yeah, let's see. And that is not happening. Our authors and damn. Let's start Team Tetron and let's go to war with these guys. But yeah, craziness. Why would you like if you're a news account? This is my thing. Why would you go out of your way if you're obviously gonna get hate when you're posting about something like this, like a controversial topic in any way? Why would you go after an individual like this specifically? Seems like if you're running a news page and you just care about sharing information, right? You shouldn't be caught up in nonsense. You should be caring about sharing the information, right? So why go out of your way to be like, this person is spreading false information about us? It kind of just makes the professor's points even more valid, in my opinion, that they went out of their way to do this. It's like if you're starting a whole website and you're trying to be like a news source, why are you getting engaged? Why are you engaging in this stuff? And why are you going out of your way? What have you ever seen a news outlet be like, they're posting false stuff about like, just weird, just a weird thing going on here. I don't know. Maybe I'm rambling a little tonight, but that's how we're starting. Jimmy Walters NFT minigames, first batch. Oh, that's sick. Let's check that out, XP. Good looks. Stop NFT. Yeah, I gotta I gotta do a better job keeping up. I've been slacking a little. I feel like I really always saw kind of everything going on, and lately I'm like, part of it is I'm so zen and like I just feel so great about my investments. So I don't feel like I need to see every little thing going on. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm Tetron. I talk about GameStop. Like I don't know every little thing going on. That's what's up. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying like I'm like turning a blind eye, but sometimes like I'm just busy and like I'm kind of like you guys out there where you're like maybe just have this stream running right now, but like you're kind of doing something else. So sometimes I'm kind of reading through things and like what I really try and do is like write stuff down throughout the day, email stuff to myself so I could just kind of keep researching like throughout the stream and stuff like that. Um but yeah, I really got to, and I know I keep saying this, but when I get my PC, I'm really gonna like set everything up mad nice. Because the most difficult part about everything I'm doing, guys, is like so much. And then I feel like a fucking broken record saying this, and I hope I don't. I'm really not trying to make excuses, but it's just hard position where I'm at in my life to like really sit down and like just go 24/7. And I want to do that so badly, but like I understand I have to get myself to here in order to do that. If that kind of makes sense. So it's just frustrating because like this is like anything I try and do with any of these games is just simply not going to work on the Surface laptop. So like I'm really trying to get that going and like really trying to just tie everything together. And I do have big plans for Tetron. Like I want to ultimately like build Discord and have admins in this like channel, stuff like that, like the things people do when they grow, right? Their channel. So you guys as the OGs have an opportunity to really be part of things. And ultimately where I'm going in the long term with like Tetron, like I almost said investor turf, what the fuck? Um I don't want to be like a big time like YouTuber, like a gazillion followers. Like, I mean, I'm not. Let me be very clear. I'm not gonna ever turn down followers. But my goal with all this is just to like have a track record of like, hey, he knew about GameStop before a lot of people did. That's my ideology behind it. And then on top of it, really what I want to do is build Tetron as a brand. And I'm not just gonna like sell you guys like I don't know, like Tetron water bottle or something. Like I truly don't know exactly what I want to do, but I'm just trying to build brand and just create over time. So I'm not trying to like make like mad money off YouTube. So people are like, oh, you could partner with people, or like, oh, like you have a decent enough following, like you could have some like on your streams and shit like that, or like you could have people pay for stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to do that though. Like, I don't know. I don't know, guys. So many different thoughts, and like so many different things I want to do, but like there's only 24 hours in a day, so it's like I have to like really choose like, is this the best? Is that the best? But really, what this all is at the end of the day, Tetron's journey. Like I hope you guys can see a young individual was like wants to do a lot, just figure it out all out over time. Honestly, that's really what this whole channel's about. But seeing stuff like this on AMC is just another day in the saga, right? Investor Turf battling with the Short Destroyer, the Professor on Twitter. We have AMC taking a stake. It's not even on their investor relations though. Supposedly, allegedly, they've taken a stake now in Cineworld theaters. So we remember last time they took a passive stake in something. But yeah, some interesting drama here. That's for sure. Let's try and see the Investor Turf. Why is nothing loading? Crazy. Influencers are wild. They will go nuts on you if you criticize their stock. It's true. Like Corey, AMC dude doxed and got some people swatted. That's crazy, really? That's actually crazy. I thought I read that somewhere that someone was like, yeah, somebody literally got swatted. It's fucking craziness. They're already nuts, so laughing my ass off. Type GameStop NFT mini games on Google. Good looks, Xbit. But quickly, I'm trying to find this. Let's see what we got here. But yeah, the best thing I really feel like you can do with the kind of like investor turf is just not engage. Just don't engage. And it's just unfortunate because people will see it on their feed and they'll go, this is why people invest in GameStop are crazy. Because it'll be them tweeting about GameStop, right? Like stuff like that. Let's see what they had in March 2022. What's going on? Damn. They scrubbed it. Is it because I'm not logged in? That's stupid. Let's see. So yes, I saw Investor Turf, but I never followed Mortgage. It was too fishy for me. Dan's, I'll be honest, I followed because I just kind of saw it, and I just said, all right, I'll just follow it back. And I just started seeing some of the tweets, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And also, sometimes I just like follow things, and I'm just like, whatever. Like, to be very clear, just because I follow somebody doesn't mean like I endorse. So if I follow like another like crypto or something, like, it means I'm curious about it. I want to like just see what's going on. And that's kind of how I felt about people talking about like various other stocks. But at the same time, after a while, it starts to get annoying seeing certain things. But then Investor Turf, I started to see like I'm like I see what's really going on here because now you're actually in my feed and it's just not right. Of course, it's not coming up. NFT mini games. Maybe it's because I'm not on actual Google. Hey, good looks. I was using Brave, the Brave default search engine. Oh, okay. Good fucking look, Hegsbit. Good looks. We love to see this. This is by NJJ Publishing. This is sick. Where's this is like looks like Galactica almost. Where's a Pac-Man type of thing? Damn, honestly, maybe I should cop one right now and just straight run it. Stuck in the sewers. Void. Oh my god, this one would frustrate the crap out of me. But damn, this is sick. I mean, this is, again, nothing groundbreaking, but it's really brick by brick, you know, the small things like this. Excuse me. Chipotle come back. But damn, alright. That's definitely cool as fuck. Yeah, I'm gonna say enough with the drama. Investor Turf and Professor. I mean, I'm Team Professor. I'll just say it. But at the same time, like, I'm not gonna get involved, and I feel like it's personally best to just stay out of conflicts right now, because too many motherfuckers are crazy. Like, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many crazy people out there, and I'd rather just keep talking about GameStop and just build a track record of being one that talks about GameStop. So that's just me. But featured creators. Let's see what we got for Easter here. Get this AMC crap out. And I wish there was more info on this. So we're going to check the 10K for the customer. Too much at once. Oh, okay. Sure, yeah. Now they gave me the whole article. Okay. At the facility, it will permanently closed within 14 days as of March 19th. Interesting. Oh, yeah, the whole center, according, okay. GameStop's Director of Human Resources and a warn notice that was sent to the state under Federal Worker Adjustment and Retaining Act. Businesses must inform state and local officials of mass layoffs. Of the 54 employees, 38 involved are customer care support. The rest are analysts, engineers, and managers. In September 2021, GameStop announced it would be opening a call center. Funds would hire 500 call center employees. The company did not give a reason for shutting down the facility. However, there have been reports GameStop is initiating company-wide layoffs as part of its emphasis on profitability that CEO Matt Furlong announced in December. GameStop Support Center was located in the Edison Pembroke Pines office Parks Building I, built in 2019. Available space within the 165,000 square foot building is advertised on LoopNet for $27.50, not including utilities, property expenses, or $27.50. That can't be right, but whatever. Yeah, so another cost-cutting effort. Maybe not something I expected exactly, but I would imagine that the company's not like, well, we're just getting rid of customer service as a whole. It's just more overhead costs, and in a world now where a lot of people work from home, I don't see why employees couldn't just work from home for the most part and then just visit in certain instances. But point is, it's another cost cutting effort. It's not maybe what we saw coming, as in, or I didn't see it coming, but it's definitely worth acknowledging. And I do want to see if I can find anything more on the 10K in regards to that, because it does say it was announced. Let's see when this is from. February 6th. So it'd be permanently closed as of March 19th. So it's closed already. The quarter, excuse me, the quarter ended as of January, the end of January. So these layoffs closed within 14 days of March 20th. Okay, so pretty much the layoffs were happening in this quarter that's happening right now. So any cost-cutting efforts there won't have even shown up yet. But of course, it's definitely important to me that the company maintains strong customer service. So don't get me wrong about that. But definitely, glad this was pointed out to me as well. It's always good to find this info because this is such a small, tiny little thing. And just where else would you find this info? Like I had to type in GameStop Pembroke Pines, and then it was like the sixth article down, and it's this tiny little thing. So it's like this happened very, very low key, and it happened a couple months ago. So February 6th. It's now April 10th, and I completely missed this. So even trying to keep up always, I still always miss stuff. So I really do appreciate when you guys share stuff with me that I can look into. And I really do try and like follow up on things. I know I'm not always the best with that, but I really, really try my best to like always make sure I'm doing my best to follow up on things. Like I still have some stuff on the post-its here, that stuff to just remember and like follow up on. So all the small stuff. Obviously cool. I saw one tweet. I can tell. XFit, yeah, the professor. You definitely like the professor XFit. Trust me, definitely for sure. Um, Human capital. Let's see, Pembroke. Mm. I feel like unless I scroll through this whole thing, the Control F doesn't work. Which is kind of annoying. Oh no, okay. Well, they're coming in. Let's see. Support our growth. Vendors may request credit support. Support center. Support center. Anything on here? It's got to be in here somewhere. What else did I call it? Customer care. Maybe it's not. Well, maybe, yeah, maybe it's not, and it's going to be in the next quarterly report. Although I would think it may be like, hey, this is something we're about to do. But maybe not. Maybe it'll just show up in the next 10Q. I never looked at Best Buy's filings, but when Rance said GameStop outperformed them, I'm like, damn. People people assume people are going to Best Buy for games more often. That's a very good point, Danzo, and I'm glad you bring that up because let's pull up Best Buy's numbers real quick. Because yeah, I think that's great that he's doing that because it's easy to be like, oh well, GameStop's numbers are getting better, but if you're not looking at their numbers compared to some similar players in the industry generally, then how can you just say like, oh, they're just good? So I think that's a great thing. Um, by investor relations. And seeing what GameStop's going through in terms of a turnaround and how things work, right? It's the best way I could say it. Understanding how things work, how companies can really kind of be gutted from within if the right people are put in place and the right people have the wrong interests. It can happen. And when I think about that, I'm like, damn, how many retail bankruptcies throughout my life? Because as I was growing up, I thought, wow, Amazon's just taking out all these retail stores. And like in middle school, high school, it's like, yeah, Amazon, they're taking over everything. Everybody's, feeling it from Amazon. Oh yeah, did you hear so and so shut down? Oh, that was the end of Sears. Oh, that's the end of Toys R Us. Amazon got them. Then I start to be like, how many of those? Like, obviously, retail things went online, and companies that didn't adapt to have a strong, mobile presence or digital presence. Obviously, that would be a huge factor in hurting them and leading to bankruptcy potentially. But looking at what happened with GameStop and some of the decisions that were made from within, and how the company is now turning to operate efficiently and still have a lot of physical locations. Yes, they may have closed down many, but they're not completely shut down. It made me realize, I'm like, well, how many of these companies like Toys R Us, Sears, maybe could have been turned around with the proper management or people that actually wanted things to kind of turn around, whereas maybe there were individuals involved that didn't want things turned around. And I'm sure that's something you can dig back on those names. And this is not what I'm looking for here. Quarterly earnings. That's something I got to keep improving on, guys. I start talking and then I forget to keep doing whatever I'm doing on the screen. And then I just jump to the next topic. But let's see there, 10K. Boom, boom, boom. Zoom in a little here. Get rid of this. It's an illusion, magic, exactly. When your CEO is best friends with the shorts and bondholders, you said it, XBit, not me. But yeah, really, one of the most incredible parts about GameStop to me is learning what it really means to invest in an individual company. And I always thought people go, oh, it's very, very hard to be an individual investor. And a lot of people just index fund buy, right? Or just go with index funds their whole life. Or I don't do individual stocks. And I always thought, well, why? This is why I think that people say that. Like I remember hearing like just watching YouTube videos at a younger age, and you'd be like, some of those, like some of the guys on there, like not even YouTube guys necessarily, maybe like millionaire investor this, or oh, founder and CEO of this, or oh, so and so who's been an investor for this many years, whatever. Like, oh, I don't only do an index investing. Oh, I only do index investing. Oh, I don't touch individual stocks. And I thought to myself, why? I was like, there could be so much opportunity with individual stocks. But I think what those individuals in hindsight now, what they were saying without saying was, it's very hard to pick and choose the right ones because you have to look at so many little details with the company to see what the real story is. And I think the coolest part about GameStop is that there's so many individuals looking at all those tiny details out of straight passion. And I'm definitely one of those individuals. And you simply don't see that with a lot of other names. And I think that makes it easy for other individuals to be like, oh, well, if this random person just researched it, like, why are they any better than me? Whereas with the general investing, general individual stocks, people think, oh, I don't know how to pick stocks. I don't know how to pick stocks. Or oh, I couldn't do investing. And it's really just about putting in the effort and like really just trying to understand the game. And obviously I have a passion for it, so it's easier for me to say that. But I think it's just really important to understand a lot of those things. I want to just give me some numbers. Give me some numbers. So they also have an international presence. Smaller relative to GameStop. Because I was looking at GameStop's 10K, about 33% of their stores right now are outside the US. Looking just off rough math here for Bed Bath. Sorry, not Bed Bath, not Bed Bath. Best Buy, looking at like 10%. That's a little interesting, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Damn. See, this is interesting to me. Look how many years with the company the people running the company have been there. That's very interesting. And if I were investing in Bed Bath, that's fuck. Why do I keep saying Bed Bath? Too many B's. Um, Best Buy. This is something I'd absolutely want to see, and I really do think a lot of the GameStop board members plan to be there for a long time. Larry Chang just bought more shares. He's not going anywhere. You think Ryan Cohen's going anywhere? Personally, I don't think so. Tal Allen? Why would you? I mean, Larry Chang. Oh, sorry, I just said Larry Chang. I meant Matt Furlong, CEO. Why not? I mean, of course, anything could happen at any time, but I really feel like a future GameStop earnings report or 10K is going to have this kind of thing here, like years with the company. Because if you're Ryan Cohen, you built and you created Chewy, and that was really just about like getting in the game, so to speak. So you would think he really wants something that he could just kind of really work on for the years to come because he's still a pretty young guy. I don't think he's trying to retire. He could think about it. After Chewy, he could have been just done. He could just hang up the skates, call it quits, retire. Right? I'm sorry, I say skates because I'm a hockey fan. Right? Hang up the cleats, whatever you want to say it. Like, you know what? I've done it. I've had a career. But he left Chewy, buys a fuck ton of GameStop, doesn't sell a single share even after the price explodes shortly after buying. Says I'm in this for the long term, and he in his interview that he did with Toast, he's like, yeah, I love to work, and that's a consistent commentary from him. I love to put in the work. My father always taught me, you have to put in the full time effort, and basically commentary like that. So it's like, why would he go to GameStop without a long term mindset there? Being that he's talking about, oh, I want to work, and he's already done all he's done with Chewy. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to. He wants to. And I think that's the most exciting part about Ryan Cohen in my eyes. But that's just what I think. And that was just a thought I had after seeing years with the company here. But let's try and see some actual numbers. See, that's interesting. Best Buy buying back shares. Let's see, BBY stock price. 75, buying back shares, right around there. So they believe in the stock at this current price. Games are Best Buy over 5 years, not that good. S&P over 5 years, beating them. S&P Retailing Group beating them as well. GameStop, not the case. Revenue change down. Look at that. Oh, GameStop's down big. Look at Best Buy. Look at Best Buy right here. SG&A, they were able to cut that a little bit. That's good for them at least. Structuring charges, not much. Operating income, significantly less. That's definitely not good for them. 46.3 billion. Damn. Imagine GameStop at that one day, 46 billion. And what's Bed Bath? Fuck, why I keep saying Bed Bath? Best Buy, $16 billion market cap. What's GameStop? About half of that? And has about 1/4 the sales, so interesting. Revenue. This is for segment. SG&A is percentage of revenue, 17, 16 the prior year. So even though SG&A went down here, it's still a higher percentage of their overall revenue because top line revenue fell. Whereas for GameStop, SG&A was top line revenue was essentially sideways, declined a little bit, but SG&A was a slower percentage of total sales. Online revenue. So about 33% of Best Buy's revenue is online. That makes sense. It's kind of interesting though how a bigger portion of it was online and actually more of it kind of came into stores less of it was online in 22, 23, implying more people went to stores. So that's definitely interesting and kind of shows me that individuals do still like to go to a physical location sometimes. People say, oh, well, no one ever's going to want to go to the stores. People are always going to want to still physically see and touch things, right? Like retail in my eyes can never entirely go away. I realized, again, seeing what happened with GameStop from within, or was going to happen, it seemed like a lot of these other companies, it's poor decision making that really drives them into the ground. And of course, if you're just doing retail and you don't have any online presence, of course it's going to be hard as fuck. But whoever's running that company has to wake up and say, well, we need an online presence. And those that didn't, it's like, well, why didn't you? Like, what were you thinking? Right? Those are the kind of questions I have looking back. But I don't know. Definitely rambly today, guys. I apologize for that. See, Connect the Dots by Marantz Rants is eye-opening for sure. Crayon Green, thank you for being here. And that's straight facts. That's absolutely facts. Now it's better to just invest in SPY than individual stocks. Well, sometimes. Exactly, XBit. That's exactly what I do. I have this individual stock I like, and then I go S&P 500. 100%. Crayon Green, appreciate you being here. Let's see, I would like if GameStop did something like this more so, in the sense they broke down their revenue mix a little bit more It's just hardware, software, and collectibles right now, which is fine. But I think it'd be nice to see them have a little bit more specifics. At a certain point, put Web3 as its own category potentially. Then maybe what percentage of sales are in store, what percentage of sales are online, some stuff like that potentially. Computing and mobile phones, 12% comparable sales decline was driven by computing, mobile, or tablets. Because there was a, well, I don't know. I was gonna try and justify that number, but I'm not gonna pretend like I can justify it specifically. Computer decline. Home theater. AMC. Just kidding. 5 points comparable skills decline, probably driven by virtual reality and gaming software. Pretty much every category. Excuse me. Across the board, declining. Whereas GameStop is growing their collectible category. And collectibles is not a category that Best Buy's in. I mean, rightfully so. It's not the same business, but generally, some stuff. Operating income. See, let's see. GameStop's operating income as percentage of revenue. Bum bum. See, revenue's generally been, well, 2020 to 2021, it rose. And 2021 to 22, pretty much flat. Whereas you see a name like Best Buy, down nearly 10% in terms of top line revenue. And I really feel like that's a factor of individuals choosing to buy GameStop. But we'll see as time goes on if that's still the case. Where are we at here? Percentage of sales. Or what percentage is net income? What is this? Following property. See, this is when I say I need to still go through some like heavy details on GameStop's 10K. This is what I mean. For example, Section 8, property and equipment. Following, okay, let's break down what this means a little bit more, right? Like how is this, like what does this actually mean to them? And it may not be something massive, but just small stuff I want to understand over time. Store and asset impairment. Where were we? Now let's see. Brings payment associated with our operating leases, excluding percentage rentals for the next 5 fiscal years. So a lot of them, I think I said this in a previous stream as well, are this year and the following year. So a lot of decisions will be made, and I think the company having data now from having SAP implemented, which is just one small aspect, just generally new management having more data through hopefully more than SAP, just seeing the big picture more, they can decide, okay, well, which leases are we going to renew? Which stores should we potentially slightly relocate? Which stores are we not going to renew? All those different things. And we'll see a lot of that decision making in 23 and 24, considering those are the two highest. And then, 25 as well. But then, 26, 27, or sorry. Yeah, 26, 27, and thereafter. That's, farther down the line. And obviously, as time goes on, if there's a lease renewed right now for 3 years, then it would show up in 26 and next year's 10K, whatever. But point being, decisions will be made, and that's more potential for cost cutting. Of course, I don't want to see them necessarily close stores, but the good part to me about trusting the people running the company is I trust that they'll make the best decisions from within and go, oh, well, this store isn't profitable, and there's another store like less than 10 minutes away, so this one's got to go. And while on paper, it's like, oh, they're closing stores, that's bad. If that store has just been breaking even the past few years, and then now it's on the decline, maybe you have to slightly move the store, right? Maybe you have to close that store because there's another one too close within range. All those different things can be seen more and more clearly over time through data and through management having been there longer. And that's just what I think. But yeah, love the numbers here. Gotta love numbers. Digital assets. So yeah, this is just kind of an everything stream right now. Oh, okay, we get further breakdown of the marketable securities. Government securities. As cash and cash equivalents and marketable securities on our consolidated balance sheets. Prepaid expenses. Okay, foreign currency contracts. So that's like companies a lot of times do forex, like low key. I don't know if you guys knew this. So I remember learning this shit at school, something I actually learned in college. Essentially, airlines do this a lot with oil futures because they're always going to need to buy gas, right, to fly planes. So if they think the price is going to go up for oil, they're going to buy futures contracts on oil. And if they think it's going to go down, they're going to sell them. I mean, maybe I'm not exactly describing it right, but my point is there are people working for the airline companies specifically to play the futures and manage the cost of their fuel the most efficiently by looking at the macro and partly trading the futures to ensure they always have a decent cost for flying the planes, or they could always be running the numbers very tight. I mean, I don't know a lot about the airline industry, and that's a whole thing itself. And personally, I don't invest in airline stocks, but that's just an example of what I learned. What I'm saying here is foreign currency contracts a little bit different. It's not futures; it's more like forex, in the sense companies. Oh well, we're international, so we're gonna have to convert to the dollar. So if the dollar keeps appreciating, we want to make sure. I can't even fully describe it. And it's not like GameStop has a ton of guys in a room just forex, something like that. But from what I understand, that's what it's recognized like a prepaid expense. Maybe that's not the exact right explanation, so don't quote me on any of that. But stuff like that is made. Decisions are made by the company for small stuff like that. I know with oil futures in the airline industry or airline stocks, that's definitely happening. But when I see like foreign currency contracts, I think that's what it is. I'd have to take a deeper look. Recognize security liabilities and other current liabilities. Non-qualified deferred compensation. Company owned life insurance. Interesting. And non-current assets. It's a newer thing. We measure the fair value of cash equivalents and certain marketable securities based on quoted prices in active markets for identical assets or liabilities. Other marketable securities were valued either based on recent trades of securities in inactive markets or based on quoted market prices of similar instruments and other significant inputs derived from our or corroborate tongue twister corroborated by observable marketable market data. Okay, we measure the fair value of our foreign currency contracts, life insurance policies, with cash surrender values and certain non-qualified deferred compensation liabilities based on level 2 inputs using quotations provided by major market news services such as Bloomberg and industry standard model that consider various assumptions, including quoted forward prices, time value, volatility factors, and contractual prices for the underlying instruments, and other relevant economic measures. All observable in active markets, flat credit, okay. Not too much there. I thought that was going to be juicier. But definitely good to look here. Cured and other current liabilities. Customer related liabilities. So let's see, what does that technically mean? Let's see what ChatGPT has to say here. Chilling. Straight chilling. Oh, I just realized, guys. Oh my god. The whole time, I only had top chat on my side chat here. So the chat on the screen right above me, actually different than the chat I'm looking on the side here. Or not different, but you can change it between top and live chat. I always forget to switch my little side tablet here to live chat. 10K. To me, guys, this is the best use of ChatGPT. You shouldn't use it to like write all your essays in school or send all your emails for work. Use it to understand stuff better. That's really what I found it. Or like I'll type an email at work and I'll be like, "Hey, ChatGPT." I don't say that. I just put it in. I'm like, "Grammar check this," and it just like will rewrite it, put a comma somewhere else, maybe add or subtract a few words, or it could be like, "Oh, tell me how you would improve this email," and then I could go, "Okay, well, I don't want to add that aspect, or that doesn't sound like what I'm trying to say. But I can at least, it's like I'm bouncing the idea off of a robot essentially. So that's why I like, instead of Googling something like this, I'd rather just like look it up here. But in a 10K filing, customer-related liabilities would typically refer to any financial obligations or commitments that a company has to its customers. This may include items such as warranties, refunds, returns, or other types of customer claims that the company may be obligated to fulfill. Specifically, customer-related liabilities may include warranty liabilities. This refers to an estimated cost of repairing or replacing products that are covered under warranty. Okay, GameStop definitely does that, so that makes sense. Returns and allowances. This includes refunds or credits the company may have to provide to customers for refunded or defective products. Okay. Customer loyalty programs. This may include rewards programs or other loyalty incentives the company has promised to its customers. So I would imagine they're factoring in per Power Up Rewards Plus member that it's actually $5 per month that they're going to spend, because theoretically they're going to have that gift card for free. So I would imagine that's calculated in there. Customer deposits. This includes any funds customers deposit with the company as part of the sale or other purposes. I wonder, like GameStop store credit. Interesting. Are important to disclose in a company's financial statement as they represent potential future costs or obligations they may be required to fulfill. So bouncing back here, less than the previous year. So I think that's a good thing. That's for sure. Of course, you'd want like warranties to go up theoretically, because theoretically people are paying for those. But at the same time, you don't want to overcalculate this number, and that's definitely a number I'll have to become more familiar with over time. Oh, I haven't changed the live chat in months. Totally forgot. You're chilling, Danzo. I just only like to do it because I'm trying to make sure like I don't miss comments, or like I do try and reply to everybody when everyone's hopping in here. I appreciate everyone spending their time with me on YouTube. There's literally a million channels out there. We live in a world where everybody could be swiping or clicking things or checking things or everywhere, and you guys are choosing to like be on my stream right now, or watch this back, and either way, like I really appreciate that. Even if it's just a little bit, you're still here. I appreciate that. Ask ChatGPT to create a trading algorithm using CCI as the buy and RSI as the sell. Alright, fuck it, let's do it, XBit. Let's see, ask. Oh. Create a trading. Dude, I'm gonna start getting tracked after this, maybe. I mean, all I'm saying is Microsoft has a very large stake in ChatGPT, which is a little concerning, but whatever. I'm going to keep using it for the longest I can, for as much information I guess I can. I'm not saying like, oh, what's my home address, to this thing, and trying to make it guess it. It's the buy and the RSI. That's the sell. Let's see. But with the general framework, interesting. If the time frame is an hourly chart. Just according to me, he's revised. See, that's where I like using this, right? Where I got this original info, but okay, well now what if it's an hourly chart? To me, guys, this is how ChatGPT is a good tool for business. Because at work, like this is the type of stuff I'm typing into it. Where it's like I'm not using it to specifically do my job, but maybe where you want to bounce an idea, right? Like sometimes in my office, there's not as many people around. And my department is very small. So I'm not going to just like, if someone's sitting next to me, I might be like, hey, what do you think of this? But I might not want to get up because there's not as many people, like, and just go ask them some random shit. They wouldn't mind. Like, I definitely get along with everybody in my job, so I don't think anybody would be like, oh no, like, what the fuck are you doing over here? Like, why are you asking me about this? They would share their opinion, and I do that. Don't get me wrong. But my point is, sometimes it's something really small where I don't want to just turn next to someone and just ask them. But there's nobody next to me, so I'm like, all right, I'll ask my girl ChatGPT what's up, So my side. No, I'm just playing. But not into robots like that. But yeah, so I don't know. I think it really is a good tool for business if you use it properly, honestly. And it's nothing groundbreaking. I mean, you could use it for groundbreaking stuff. People write whole ass codes, but this is incredible to me. Tell it to write the code. I'll say write the code, please. Gotta be nice to the robots. Gotta say please. It's crazy. Wow. I'm surprised it did it. I thought I was gonna say I can't do that. That's actually incredible. XBit, gotta mess with this, man. Simple code you need to modify based on trading strategy and specific market and asset you're trading. Also, it's important to thoroughly test any trading algorithm before using it in a live trading environment. Wow, that's pretty fucking incredible, actually. I knew we could write code like this, but damn, that's actually crazy. Hola all, Pam, thank you for being here. We're just messing with ChatGPT right now, just seeing some things, dabbling in some information, but appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, that's incredible. That really is incredible. Fuck, I forgot to tweet out the stream today. I just realized that. I mean, I'll do it now at this point, I guess. But also, I don't know if you guys saw, Bitcoin's at 29.6K right now, the highest it's been in quite a long time, which is definitely interesting. With the Bitcoin halving coming up in, I think it's first half of 2024. Historically, every time there's a Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin just tends to go up. So I think we'll see at some point or another crypto cycle. But at the same time, there's a lot of controversy on it right now, considering the inflation, central backed digital currency. See, I remember this time, CBDC, and just general mixed emotions. I would say mostly negative from governments around the world. But it's funny because they all like, oh, it's bad, Bitcoin's bad, Ethereum's bad, or it's dangerous. We want to protect people. Give me a fucking break. It's such a load of shit. I think it's like how I described it and what Bitcoin is to me, how I see it down the line is Bitcoin is the separation of state and money, just the same way a long time back it was the separation of the state and the church, like decades and decades and decades, like a couple centuries ago, right? I think that was like a big thing that played out over several decades and just kind of became a slow shift as a whole. And I really see personally cryptocurrency kind of becoming that because it's been around for a while now and you hear it talked about on and off. It goes through these cycles where I feel like it's going to be a situation where governments don't like it because just the same way they didn't want to, if you look historically, they didn't want the church to be removed from the state because it was like power essentially because people are like, oh, well, if the church said it and people are religious, they're going to listen. It's kind of like that. It's not exactly the same example, but I think this is the separation of state and money essentially. And those in charge see that and are like, no, 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 we don't like that idea. That's bad, bad, bad. And they're saying it's bad, 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 but it kind of seems like it's bad, bad, bad for the governments and that want to make sure they're maintaining a close eye on everything, right? Just something I kind of observed. But I'm no expert, so it's funny at my job. Um, I'm seen as like the crypto expert, or like not crypto expert, but I just have a little thing on my desk that my brother got me a long time back. It's like just a little knickknack because I love desk knickknacks for some reason. I have like a ton of them at my house and at my work desk, but it was just like a little Bitcoin. If someone like saw it and was like, "Oh, you're a big Bitcoin guy," and I'm like, "Yeah, I have a little bit." I'm like, I'm not like super big, but it's so funny. And also like I work in private assets, so people buy Bitcoin through a self-directed IRA, like where I work. So it's just funny. Yeah, people like be hating on Bitcoin, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's all right and whatever. But I mean, point is, I've seen the hype cycles from within of how people get crazy and just start throwing so much money. And again, I'm like, it's about investing, not trading. So why are people rushing in? I don't know. I'm going on a whole rant here, but let's get back to GameStop. Let's get back to the 10K. I feel like that's the best thing to look at. But I will say again, this is a pretty good tweet. It wasn't this tweet specifically, but more and more thinking about it. If you're reading it right now, essentially about GameStop creating an NFT, like an NFT dividend, and the proposals are here. Like one of them does say, shout out to you, Freshmaker. You sent me these. Where was it? One of them has, yeah. I'm ready to propose the company and or its board of directors take action to issue an NFT tokenized dividend for each share held one-to-one shareholders. So I had to kind of understand this better, and I realized this is like an upcoming proposal, potentially. But I realized I'm like, I don't know this is in the best interest of the company because when you look their 10K, they mentioned where it wouldn't be a good idea. Let's see. I forgot where they put it exactly, but they essentially said, yeah, it would cost a lot of time and resources. Let's see. Changing in cause okay, let's read this right here. This seems interesting. As I'm going through shit, like this is my favorite thing to do, Control F, because this thing is huge and like obviously I'm trying to find specific points to bring up to you guys, but I feel like it's important to stop and read important things. Like this headline here catches my attention. So let's read it. If we fail to keep pace with changing industry technology and consumer preferences, we will be at a competitive disadvantage. The interactive entertainment industry is characterized by swiftly changing technology, evolving industry standards, frequent new and enhanced product instructions, rapidly changing consumer preferences, and product obsolescence or obsol. Fucking big words, man. Video games are now played by a wide variety of mediums, including video game consoles, personal computers, mobile phones, tablets, social networking websites, and other devices. Browsers, mobile, and social gaming is accessed through hardware other than consoles and traditional handheld video game devices we currently sell. In addition, augmented reality, virtual reality, and blockchain technology continue to rapidly evolve and may result in changes in both because customer preferences and types of hardware and software that are used by customers to continue to compete effectively in the gaming and interactive entertainment industry. I feel like I saw it a couple times on this report, which I found interesting. Interactive entertainment industry. Do they just mean gaming or do they mean something else, low key, that they're kind of trying to tie into things? I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Keep saying gaming and interactive entertainment, but at the same time, gaming is interactive entertainment, right? So maybe I'm just thinking too hard about that small detail there. But regardless, I love the company. So it's not like, oh, they're not doing something big in the interactive entertainment industry. It's just gaming. Okay, so what? It's still gaming. It's still a huge industry. Um, and I still think there's so many opportunities for them to go build their brand name even more through acquisitions down the line. And I think we're in a world now where valuations are being beat down of companies that aren't super effectively managed, and even decent companies are seeing their valuations absolutely beat down just due to overall market conditions. So, at a time like this, where GameStop is strapped with cash, they don't want to go take on debt. It might make sense to get bought out by a company like GameStop, or I don't want to say I can't even say merge because I just think of that clown, Kaz. Every day without fail. I don't know how this man does it. I'm genuinely shocked every time I see it in my feed. Cosmolege. He's like, today is the day Teddy is merging with Bed Bath. You heard it here first. Like that's how he's like it's how every single day he's been saying Bed Bath is gonna merge for like I think 6 months. Like it's incredible. I just give him props for the fact that he's still going at it, but he's speaking bullshit. So I don't give him props for that. But I just can't believe it. I mean, sorry, that just popped in my mind because I don't think GameStop is going to do a merger. They obviously want to keep control of things, but acquisitions make sense. But okay, whatever. I don't want to go in that down that whole route. Let's keep going back to the other point I was trying to make here. Any such type of tax investment resources to okay. And maintenance of each required and will continue to require the investment of significant financial and human capital. ERP system. Oh, okay. Yes. See, this is something I want to read. Okay, let's go through this whole page actually. But let's check chat real quick. BBY Toomba. Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's interesting. He's an interesting dude. But no. Go back. Where is this? All right. I don't know if I can read all this. It's a lot of tiny text and a lot of big words to read very quickly, but I'm going to kind of read through this. You guys should read through it too. And I'm going to share some of my thoughts. Okay. subsidiaries. I mean, they don't have very large subsidiaries. I'm really not even concerned about that. Our implementation of new ERP system may adversely affect our business and results of operations or the effectiveness of our internal controls over financial reporting. During the third quarter of fiscal 2022, we implemented a new ERP system, SAP, Retail Technology, as part of our plan to integrate and upgrade our systems and processes. Additional implementation activities are expected to continue in phases over the next few years. Long-term thinking, love to see that. ERP implementations are complex, labor-intensive, and time-consuming projects and involve substantial expenditures on system software and implementation activities. The ERP system is critical to our ability to provide important information to our management, obtain and deliver products, provide services and customer support, send invoices, track payments, fulfill contractual obligations, and accurately maintain books and record, provide accurate, timely, and reliable reports on financial and operating results, and otherwise operate our business. So before I go any further, I'm going to hold my place there with the mouse. Two things I want to say. One, I know you think, oh, SAP technology, it's simple retail technology. What's so groundbreaking about that? The whole thing is GameStop really didn't have any kind of retail technology prior to Ryan Cohen and other individuals being brought in to really turn things around because previous management evidently didn't care enough to implement retail technology to keep track of this data and make sense of the data to make these decisions. That's what it says right here. Fuck, I'm going to lose my place. I just moved the mouse. As part of our plan to integrate and upgrade our systems and processes. And also, it says additional implementation activities are expected to continue in phases over the next few years. I think those phases are data. Like the more data there is, the next phase can take place, or opportunities can be identified through data. I'm going to say that. I'm going to put a note of that here. And I want to come back to this section and add more notes, but since I'm kind of doing it on stream, it's a little bit harder. Okay. Put a little note here. Phases implemented through getting data over time. But yeah, over the next few years, that's also very exciting to me when they use commentary like that because it just shows the company's focused on the long term. And I'm always like, oh, it's all about the long term. It's all about the long term. Seeing the company say, yeah, like we care about the long term. Pretty nice to see. And of course, it's just a small phase here or small phrase saying continuing in phases over the next few years. But just the way they subtly describe it of like, oh, we gotta do this now. We gotta do that now. It's nothing like that. It's not. So I think all the noise of like, oh, GameStop doesn't do anything yet, or when squeeze, when MOAS, when MOAS. It's all about the long term, baby. It's all about the long term. And they just keep doing the right things. And the more time that passes, the more evidence there is that they're doing the right things. And that's why I love everybody running the company and specifically Ryan Cohen. I put my money where my mouth is. And they have the straight up mentality of we're not going to give expectations. We're not going to say, oh, we expect these numbers. Don't believe us. Just watch. Just watch if you don't believe us. Or because people who like the company are already invested and people running the company are being compensated in shares. So they're like, okay, fine. And no insiders are selling. So they're basically the people running it are like, you don't have to believe anything. We're not going to tell you anything because you're not going to believe it anyway. And you're just going to spin it a certain type of way. So don't believe us. Just watch. And I just love that about GameStop. And I really think that could be a new wave down the line. I think eventually we could see other companies do this. If there's ever another similar situation to GameStop, and I want to be very clear, the next GameStop is GameStop, in my opinion. But when I say that in the sense of like, oh, another situation type like GameStop, I don't mean a specific like, oh, Bed Bath is the next GameStop, like that type of thing. I'm talking like a company that's maybe just being shorted, right? Because that happens to companies. Companies get shorted with a strong leadership team that's like, no, like we actually want to turn things around, or like maybe new ownership comes in to a random company, right? He's like, no, we want to turn things around. We got to do the right things. Maybe they go, well, when everybody was down in GameStop way back when, what did? They didn't even put out guidance. They didn't even have long conference calls. They didn't even take questions. Maybe we should do that too. So maybe one day down the line, what I'm saying is like companies will really take it and call it like the GameStop playbook. I don't know. That's just a random idea I had, but who cares if that happens or not? I like GameStop. I'm not even worried about that. But okay, let's keep going here. ERP implementations also require transformation of business and financial processes in order to reap the benefits of the ERP system. Any such implementation involves risks inherent in the conversion of a new computer system, including loss of information and potential disruption to our normal operations. The implementation and maintenance of the new ERP system is required and will continue to require the investment of significant financial and human resources, the re-engineering of processes of our business, and the attention of many employees who would otherwise be focused on other aspects of our business. Interesting. So what they're saying right here to me is, yeah, this is going to cost a lot of time and a lot of money, but it's important. I'm going to put a note of that here. Acknowledging cost a lot of time and money. Believe it to be worth it in the long run. All right, I think it's a pretty solid note there. Yeah, if only I could spell or speak. Our results and operations could be adversely affected if we're to experience delays or cost overruns during the ERP implementation process, or if we are unable to reap the benefits we expect from the ERP system. Any material deficiencies in the design and new implementation of the ERP system could also result in potentially materially higher costs than we had incurred previously and could adversely affect our ability to operate our business and otherwise negatively impact our financial reports and internal controls. Any of these consequences could have a material adverse effect on our results and operations and financial condition. I don't think that's going to be the case, though, considering, again, the people running the company. And it's a major part of what they're doing. And they literally say this is going to take years. Uh, it's going to cost a lot of money and time. So I don't think the company is going to just put whoever on this type of thing. So they're going to make sure they have strong talent in that, or I'd least like to think so. Let's see what an ERP system officially is, as per our buddy Chat GPT. I still can't believe this XBit is actually crazy. It can be like mad obvious. Enterprise resource planning. Perfect. So if you guys don't know exactly what I'm talking about SAP retail technology, right here, you got a definition popping up on the screen live. Live check chat. Hey, future millionaires, what up? Fresh Maker, what up? Thank you for being here. Got the mic rocking and rolling. Thanks to you that one time. Appreciate that. People like downloads. People like physical copies. NFTs at the bridge. That's facts, XBit. That's straight facts. Fresh Maker. Dan's saying hello. But yeah, that's straight facts, XBit, because actually I was just buying tickets for something, and I realized like how it all works is you just buy it, and then eventually it just winds up in your wallet, right? Or for me, how the tickets went, basically the easiest thing to do was to just add it to my Apple wallet, right? Like right here. So like I don't want to obviously show any information, but boom, Apple Wallet. I mean, that's just my credit cards, but whatever. But it just got added right in there. So if that's the case where it'll just get added right in, why can't it be an NFT? And of course, the Apple Wallet, maybe not specifically, but it just makes sense that tickets could be NFTs. I know we've talked about that in the past on here, like just some of you guys in the chat and just discussing it. So that alone, I think, could be a huge thing. And it just made me realize, like, yeah, like it's people still want to kind of remember the ticket, but you can't really do that now with everything digital. Like I remember having tickets from when I was a kid going to the game, like the actual like stubs, and it's like iconic. But everything is digital now, so if you want to at least keep some memory of it, even if there's no specific art or it just says like ticket from this, like I would love to have a folder in my GameStop wallet of all the old events I attended, just to look back and be like, oh, remember that game? Or like if it was like two teams playing, like, oh, yo, remember when we went there? And then, yo, we saw that guy who was eating 17 hot dogs, or I don't know, something random. The best thing I ever was at a hockey game once, and this dude, it was like $1 hot dog night, and this dude bought like literally 100 hot dogs, and between the plays, he was throwing them to like across to the sections around him, and just giving them to the people around him, like a T-shirt toss, but with hot dogs. Fucking legendary, absolutely legendary. And while you might not have an NFT specific to that night, just be it'd be cool to look back on your like ticket and be like, oh, yo, remember we saw the hot dog throwing guy? Whereas now I don't remember which specific game I went to. Or it'd be cool if I could put the NFT and then put a note on it, or I don't know. Now I'm just rambling, but I don't know. That's just one side of things. And also my tablet on the side here died. I gotta pull the chat on the phone. But damn, it's almost hockey playoffs, guys. To those of you that watch hockey, should be an exciting playoffs, that's for sure. Smart contracts, blockchain tech, you know the vibes, Xbit. Sorry I'm late, but I was watching Black Adam. You're chilling, Fresh Maker, no worries. But smart contracts, blockchain tech, yeah, exactly. Exactly. I really think it all just come together, step by step. It's never gonna be like just it's the biggest FUD to me over time has always been, oh, tomorrow, oh, this is the date. And that's why the whole mentality became, well, no dates. There's no dates. Just like the stock. Because it's the long term. And it's as simple to me as the company succeeding and anybody betting against it, it's just gonna really, really suck to be still betting against it over time. Especially as time passes, anyone that wants to open a new short position theoretically, you have to pay a decent cost to borrow. And like if you're a huge firm, you think, okay, well that's nothing. But at what point is it like this is just burning a massive hole in our pocket? Especially if the company starts doing dividends, share buybacks, has S&P 500 inclusion, uh, makes an acquisition of some kind on a beatdown valuation company, like I was talking about a little bit before. All those different things. If you're betting against the company, you could, even if you keep shorting it thousands of gazillions of percents over, at a certain point you have to look and be like, fuck, this thing's never coming back down. So to me, I don't even think about covering. I just think it's about supply and demand in terms of just the long term for GameStop, because I really think at some point or another there'll be demand, and it won't, even if there's not a massive influx of demand at any one specific time, just generally any demand for shares is going to push the share price higher over time, in my opinion, because the supply will just be limited. And over time, as more individuals are choosing to directly register shares, it just seems like the supply is limiting even more and more. And the way DRS count was reported in this 10K was nothing short of strange, right? Like it's just odd. And the 10K was delayed in being put out. So that was interesting. So that's a whole conversation in itself. But let's go back to ERP here to get some water. $1 hot dog night rules. That's a fact, Pam. That's a fact. I should have ate more that night. I think I only had one because I was like, oh, all right, just take one because it's $1 hot dog night. But that was also mad long ago, so I was like really young. So I was like, oh my god, dollar. Everything in this stadium would cost me like fucking 3 hours of work because I was like making minimum wage at the time. And also, by the way, guys, from like working in retail, and I'm sure I've said this many times before, but those of you who don't know, I was a Marshall's sales floor manager. So part of the time I was manager on duty, and that's like getting the memos from the company and shit. So seeing here, the ERP system is critical to our ability to provide important information to our management, obtain and deliver products, provide services, and customer support. So essentially, the behind the scenes, how I imagine it, right? You have people managing the system, implementing SAP, making some of these decisions, getting feedback from down the chain, and the chain kind of goes people running the system, somebody in between that kind of, or what I would think would make the most sense, understands the system they're building, but also understands what it's like to actually be in a store. Because when I worked there, what I hated was like the district manager coming, most unreal fucking expectations, so unreal. And I'm like, bro, this is Marshalls. Everybody throws everything everywhere. You want it to be spotless when you walk in? How can I make that happen when you're showing up, when the store is open? Like, this is unrealistic. But my point is, I always thought the district manager, he didn't have a real perspective. He's not in a store every day seeing like what's really going on. So that could be a kind of a disconnect, because what happens is then as a manager, I would get the memos and it'd be from the company and they'd be like, oh, do this, this, this. I'm like, how am I actually going to do that? So this system, I would hope, would allow GameStop to give this information to people managing the system, give it to somebody in between that understands what it's like to actually be in the stores, and then have them send out the information to all the managers, and then the managers essentially share the information with all the individual teams. Or if it's just for the system software or something new they're implementing, it may not even be announced to all the individual employees because it's just like a random employee in a GameStop store. They're not necessarily going to care. But the big updates, they would obviously have to share with all the employees, and any updates in general are going to be sent to the managers. So I hope that was a decent explanation, but just a little bit of my insight from my time at Marshalls. What a time it was. What a time it was. Not necessarily the best one, though. Let's circle back here. Reference did record to highly fact specific. I think I wanted to go back on this to see. Oh no, I wanted to go back to. I mean, at a different point in the past, but I wanted to go back to ERP here. Global game market twos, we capture 5%, we win. Sounds like facts, XBit. And Benjamin, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Maybe we need new revenue streams. Why don't we sell game keys like all the online key sellers? Dan the Man, what up? Thank you for being here. Yeah, Fresh Maker, I definitely could see that as being a possibility for GameStop, and I definitely really do want to see them bring on new revenue streams. And part of the way I think they increase their revenue is one, new routes like that, how you kind of mentioned, where selling the game keys. And if they're creating more of their own games over time, which I ultimately believe will be part of what they're doing with Web3, if they're creating games themselves, I think they'll be able to profit off of the in-game items, and then they'll also be able to just, have the ecosystem for it underlying and sell the games themselves over time. So I think that'd be something certainly interesting to look out for. But a big part of how I think they could really grow revenue, and it's not necessarily like technically growing it, but like kind of is if they make an acquisition of a company that let's say has like $1 billion in revenue, something like that. But obviously, $1 billion is a lot of revenue, and theoretically, then they would have to buy it out for several billion, and GameStop's not going to do that with 1.39 billion in cash right now. I really, really think it'd be very silly for them to take on debt unless whatever they bought out, they thought they'd get a massive return. Which, why would a company want to get bought out if they're going to get a massive return? So we'll kind of see what happens with that over time. With the ability to partner with anyone in the world, capturing gaming sectors from many different angles, mobile, PC, console, VR, crypto, etc. Sounds like facts to me, XBit. And yeah, and I think it says it here too in the 10K where it's like they're evolving and the company has to continue to adapt because it's a rapidly changing space. That's what they were essentially saying. Excuse me. But oh, what is the key? It means just like like when you just buy a game key and then like you go on like your Xbox and you put it in and then you have the game on there, but like you bought it from GameStop. I think they have a little bit of that, but actually, yeah, it's probably better if like Freshmaker answers the questions probably for him. I'm realizing that. And then enterprise resource planning system is a type of software that integrates and manages all the core business processes and activities in an organization, including financial management, human resources, supply chain management, customer relationship management, and manufacturing operations. The system provides a centralized platform that enables companies to streamline their operations, enhance efficiency, and make better informed business decisions. Yeah, I'm talking too fast. I like keep forgetting to breathe today. I don't know why. ERP systems typically use a common database that enables different departments within an organization to share information and collaborate more efficiently. The system also includes tools for managing and automating various business functions such as financial accounting, inventory management, procurement, product planning, and product management. So that's kind of, or project management rather, production planning, butchering, but a little bit of what I was saying before. And this is obviously a general definition. GameStop's definition would be more specific to what they're doing. With some of the key features and benefits of an ERP system include improved data accuracy and consistent across the organization, so they could all see the same things at the same time. Greater visibility and control over business processes. Better decision making, hopefully, from seeing information. And it's collaboration and communication across departments. Yeah, so if everyone's seeing the same thing, hopefully that would happen. Automation of routine tasks and processes, scheduling things, increased efficiency and productivity, better informed decision making through real time data and insights, integration with other software systems and applications, scalability to meet the changing needs of the organization. ERP systems can be customized to meet specific requirements of different industries and organizations. However, implementing an ERP system can be complex and costly, which GameStop did mention, and requires careful planning, testing, and training to ensure successful implementation. So while GameStop is using SAP retail technology, it's not fully out there right now, or they're using it for small aspects because even as they say right here, continue in phases over the next few years. And implementation and maintenance of the new ERP system has required and will continue to require the investment of significant financial and human resources, the re-engineering of processes of our business, and the attention of many employees who would otherwise be focused on other aspects of our business. And considering, they want everything in one place, they're building the system to just make better decisions and do all these small things that really come together over time. I think if they do make an acquisition, they have to make an acquisition that's strategic to fit in the system and be vertically integrated. For example, they bought out, I know I feel like I keep saying this, just like a company that, a company that only makes headsets, right? Let's say a company just makes some headsets and they only do headsets. GameStop buys them out, $100 million, right? Brings in 25 million in revenue. They bring in all those headsets, they sell them out of their warehouses, and they rebrand them all to GameStop. To me, that's a very, very small, tiny, tiny example. Definitely, whatever software that company had for themselves would have to be integrated into the system as well. So all those different things have to kind of happen behind the scenes, and that's also if the company's going to make an acquisition, which I'm thinking of right now, something they would have to consider is how much will it cost to actually make the acquisition efficient to us? In the sense, how are they actually, if they do go acquire something, take that company they acquire and vertically integrate it for it to make sense? Because I feel like unless it's going to be easily vertically integratable, the company wouldn't want to make the acquisition. That's what I'm starting to think. And that's why Bed Bath to me just makes like zero sense. It'd just be a gazillion dollars debt in itself. And I mean, yeah, that's a whole, again, I could go on and on about that. But um and for those of you that don't know what vertical integration is, we can hit up ChatGPT for that. But essentially it's just implementing it all in-house, right? Like an example of vertically integrated company is Tesla because they do everything in-house and constantly they're making their cars more and more efficiently and with less and less parts. So it really is incredible. I mean, I know a lot of mixed feelings on Elon out there, but if you look at what Tesla's done, it's truly incredible. Like if you take Elon out, I mean, he's a big factor in it. I'm not trying to discredit him in any way, but I'm saying like take out like thoughts and opinions about Elon and just look at strictly what Tesla as a business has done over the past 5 years. It's pretty fucking incredible. It really is incredible. Vertical integration definition, and that's an example of vertical integration. Yes, see, that's a great way to put it. See, this is why I like ChatGPT. Sometimes, like, I was trying to say that, but I couldn't find the right words for it. But yeah, essentially, it's acquiring, not merging, I think in GameStop's case, with companies that are involved in different stages of the same supply chain. So, for example, a game maker, right? A company that makes games. Like, let's say GameStop, I mean, obviously, this wouldn't happen. It's just a name that's come to my head. GameStop goes and acquires Epic Games. They get all the intellectual property, they get everything, and they could then sell it under the brand name GameStop. And of course, that's the most terrible example ever because obviously that's not happening. But, or what did I say? Fuck. EB. I'm like I two thoughts at the same time, just like fucking bzzz in my head. I feel like EB Games is like GameStop's whole thing. I meant the one that does Fortnite. Whatever. Point is, if they bought a game maker, that would be like another aspect of vertical integration, whereas another potential aspect was what I was saying before about the headsets. Two totally different things, but generally vertical integration, if that makes sense. And I'll let you guys kind of read this while I check chat real quick. Historically speaking, oh, gotta go back. Partner. I almost got a job at Marshall's back in college, but ultimately workload's going to be too much. Hiring managers seem nice. Hey, movie here. Thank you for being here. And yeah, honestly, there's some good people I work with. Don't get me wrong. It's not the worst company in the world. They try their best. To, like if you're, it's like any other retail job in my opinion, where it was like who you worked with really made the job. And when you get to a management level, like there's just crazy expectations. Like as I started moving up, they're like, it just has to get done. Or like I remember days I used to go there after class and I would work the closing shift, and my manager would ask me to take a lunch and then stay into the night because you weren't allowed to work more than 6 hours without taking a meal break, which is fucking annoying because I'm like, I want to, like, if I had like a 7.5 hour day, I'm like, I don't want to take a meal. I don't get paid for that shit. So, and also you like legally weren't allowed to do that per the company's policies, or so they'd be a whole big thing. So I would work 5 hours, and then I would from like 5:30 to 10:30, take a lunch break, lunch, fucking nighttime, stay with like two other people. We just get food, come back, and then just put out merchandise until like 2 or 3 in the morning. Or I would come in like first thing in the morning, put out all the shit in the first half, and then the store opens and you just manage things as normal. So it's a grind, man. Retail is a grind, but it really taught me to work hard, and that individuals, a lot about individuals because I worked with all different types of people, all different walks of life, and it truly gave me a lot of perspective, which I'm very thankful for. And I'll be very clear too. I'm very thankful for where I'm at now, my current job, this YouTube channel, like everything. Like, thank you so much to all of you, really. And I'm just grateful to be where I'm at right now, for real. Because I know I'm always like, oh, I'm busy. You're like, oh, I gotta figure this out, all that. Please never look at that as like complaining. I'm just like filling you guys in about what's going on in my life or like where I'm at with things. I'm not complaining. I am so fucking blessed. I really understand that. Like, I am so blessed as an individual to be where I'm at this age, and like I always want more. And right, who doesn't want to just do more and just put in the work? But at the same time, like I am so fucking blessed for what I have and where I'm at. So, and I'm talking like not even including YouTube, but YouTube on top of it is just like it's awesome, guys. It's awesome being here with you. So thank you. But let's see. Why do I keep, I'm like so out of breath. That's like getting too excited today. Also, I started working out, guys. I really am starting to do it. I played some hockey on Saturday. I played basketball with my cousins yesterday on Easter. Intense ass game. Got sweaty as hell in my dress clothes. And then today I did a pretty good workout in the morning. So trying to keep that going. But I wonder if that has something to do with it. But you would think it'd expand my lungs. I don't know. Whatever. NFT equals key. Sounds about right, Expert. That's a very good point. Is GME the most shorted company on the market? Ready Player 259, thank you for being here. Maybe not statistically, maybe underlying, potentially, but I really like to just focus on the company as a whole. Historically speaking, yes, in all history. Expert said it, not me. You can buy a game online and then get a key to use, aka activate or example activate on Steam. I think Cost does only headsets. Oh yes, that's a good point, Movie. I think you're right, they actually do. But I don't know that much about them. I'd have to see. Because I remember that was a name that used to float around, and people were like, oh, what if they bought them out? And I'm like, I don't know. But that is funny because that is literally the example I always say. And you're right, I think Cost is literally headphones. It's funny enough. Shout out to Loopering. The tech's amazing. In fact, Dan the Man, thank you for being here. When your partner who already owns and sells a large catalog of goods and who already has a well-developed infrastructure. I think that's a really good point, Freshmaker. And, there's been the talk of the acquisitions. And the more I think about it, and even as we're discussing right now, it makes more and more sense for GameStop to just treat it like the Warren Buffett quote. Investing is like baseball, except there's no called strikes. You can watch as many pitches come by as you want. And then finally, when you see the perfect one, you can swing. I feel like GameStop's looking at acquisition opportunities in that same way. They're like, we're not just going to go acquire anybody for the sake of acquiring and spending our money. We want to acquire something that can truly be vertically integrated in our business and something that has value to us in what we're trying to do. And what you said, Freshmaker, makes sense. Well-developed infrastructure really, really would help GameStop and everything they're trying to do and moving towards Web3. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes over time. We have IMX and some new ones. They're building worlds right now. You will see lots of new games like Tempest Rising. It's an RTS like StarCraft. Retail's tough. My brother left the military and got a part-time retail job at Fives. Hated it so much he rejoined the military. Damn, man, that's crazy. And funny enough, you say that. So guys, I meant to say this earlier. Unfortunately, I cannot stream this Wednesday. I do have something important going on, and then I'm traveling this weekend. I will be in Texas, so maybe not this weekend you'll see the content. Maybe it'll come out like next week or the following week, but Loki got a couple, no, don't expect anything major, like a Hot Ones video, but I got some ideas for Texas when I'm there. And the reason I thought of that when you said military is because I'm actually fortunate enough to stay for free there, because I'm actually going to be visiting my friend who's serving in the Air Force there right now, so that should be pretty cool. Then go with my other friend, and we're all buddies since high school, so should be a good time. Then I paid for my flight with points. Pretty fucking awesome, playing the points game with the credit cards. Um, Random tidbit of information: credit card is like a knife. If you don't know how to use it, you'll stab yourself, you'll hurt yourself, right? But if you know how to use it, you cut your food, you defend yourself, I don't know. I don't think examples off the top of my head, but I think you guys understand the analogy because a credit card, if you use it effectively, you just don't spend more money than you have. You just budget yourself. You just properly keep track of your money and you just always pay off the card before the end of the month. You never accrue interest. And then you can just take advantage of the cash back. And for me, I'm doing it through Chase, and then I'm taking advantage of the cash back to purchase flights down the line. And then also, when you open the credit card, spend X amount of dollars, you get points. And of course, it's all the catch is, are you going to be responsible? If you're not going to be responsible, people, oh, well, yeah, it sounds too good to be true. It's not, as long as you're responsible. So, I don't know. Random thing I've realized over time. Because people are always like, oh, stay away from credit cards, or credit cards are dangerous. And I've really can say I've never like been in debt majorly, like in terms of credit cards. Like I have student debt a little bit, but I don't have any major credit card debt or anything like that. And I'm surprised how many young people my age, you guys would be surprised, those of you that are older than me, that so many people like poor spending habits. And I'm like, how can you just run up the credit card if you don't have the money? Like, what was your plan? And what the fuck were you buying? Like, it just seems like it's not rocket. It seems so black and white to me, but it happens, right? And I'm sure it happens to people all the time. But to me, why it's so mind-boggling seeing it with people my age, I'm like, you guys are like me. Like you're still kind of living with your parents. Like you kind of just got out of school. Like how'd you get this credit card debt so fast? You don't even have real life expenses. What are you buying like crazy? Like I understand when people get into credit card debt because life's fucking expensive and inflation is running right now. I understand people that start to kind of buy more on a credit card because of that slightly and it catches up to them over time. But someone like my age, I'm like, guys, like, and that's part of why I really care about like speaking about money and how money works and just investing as a whole. It's because part of the reason let me be very clear. I'm not poor. My family's not poor or anything like that. But I would say a lot of my family's financially illiterate. And it's really frustrating because I'm like, wow, how did nobody ever tell like, for example, my grandma never had like a 401k. How did nobody ever like get you like what? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I'm like, it's boggled my mind so much that I'm like, people got to know about this stuff. So that's why it's really important to me to like share this. And like people I know are always like, oh no, you got to like show me about stocks or like, I don't know. It's funny. Like I'm like that meme. Like what my friends think I do, what my coworkers think I do, what my wife thinks I do, what my parents think I do, what I really do. Just talk about GameStop. That's really what I do. And it's funny. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, he talks about like stocks on YouTube. I'm like, I don't though. I talk about a stock and like things as a whole. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm gonna have to leave it there. I'm just fucking gassed today, and I feel like I'm just getting when I get super rambly. I'm like, I don't know. When the quality of the stream starts falling off, that ain't it. So, and damn, I never even tweeted out the actual stream. I said I was going to do it before, but it's crazy, guys. Um, Something I've also noticed over time is that attention spans of people my age, and I'm definitely in this bucket, are terrible. My attention span is so bad, and that's something that's really been like, I'm sure you could tell from like, I just got even there. I like changed mid sentence what I was gonna say, but also because I'm rambling and streaming, it's a little bit different, right? But it's really alarmed me lately how bad my attention span is and those around me, and I'm like, TikTok came along, and when that came along, I was like, wow, I didn't think there'd be another thing after like Instagram and Snapchat and like, I mean, I guess you always kind of think there was, but TikTok changed the game. Now everybody swipe, 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 swipe. What's next? How could there be a thing that's even less for attention spans? Like, I don't know. Too many thoughts at once here today, but crazy. Retail's rough. Yeah, it's bad funny. He literally went back to the military because of it. Visit Grapevine. No, Freshmaker, I literally wanted to. I literally looked, but like where I'm gonna be is like way too far. So make a ninja store out of a credit card. That sounds pretty dope down there, man. I'd be like, hey, where do you want to pay with your card? I'd be like, yeah, chip. Boop, or touch. Never had a credit card and I can't go straight to negative on my bank account. I have zero debt. Hey, Freshmaker, That's the way to go, though. As long as you know yourself as an individual. Because I've said to people like, you should really have a credit card. People are like, well, I don't get one because I know I'm gonna do something stupid. I'm like, well, that's not good. But at least you know yourself as an individual to avoid it if you know it's not gonna be good for you. But yeah, but yeah, guys, brick by brick, keep just grinding out here. And I appreciate all of you guys hopping on these streams. But yeah, I think this might be a good spot to kind of wrap it up today. But also, yeah, I woke up really early to work out too, so I'm wondering if I'm like draining, and I'm trying not to drink as much coffee and all these different small things that I really hope will put some positive aspects in my life over time. Because thinking about like TikTok and like I don't know, like honestly, guys, so many people I know smoke like vapes, like cigarettes, and even some people I know starting to go down some negative paths, unfortunately, and I really hope the best for them. Um, and I don't think I have the worst habits, but I definitely don't have some good habits. And I feel like if I had really good habits, I could really, really thrive on my channel. So I'm really trying to do this for myself, for my YouTube, and just bettering myself as a whole. But I don't know, all of a sudden lately I've been like really awoken to like I guess my health and like or I just had a fear all of a sudden, like fuck, like if I don't start taking care of these things over time, one day I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be 40 and I'm gonna have health problems or I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have that and damn, I gotta like do something about this. I gotta like work out. I gotta like eat healthier. Can't just like DoorDash all the time and shit. Like I haven't been as much. I haven't, but also like I don't even have my own. Like I don't even know if I've really said this on here, guys. Like I don't even have my own car right now. Like I'd be sharing with my brother, my grandpa, my parents, but also I work from home 2 days and like my mom works from home a couple days. My brother's school, so it works out where I don't really like need one, but at the same time, like obviously I want one, but I don't technically have my own car. And honestly, I chose to buy GameStop shares over time, or I've basically been choosing to buy GameStop shares over time instead of putting money towards a car. I hope my girlfriend's not watching this because I'm not sure she'd like to hear that. But yeah, so because I really believe in the company, and again to clarify, I don't absolutely desperately need a car, and if I needed to go out and get one tomorrow, I could. I'm not like totally strapped, and I always say don't invest more than you can afford to lose. But at a certain point, I determined it's more important to me to invest in GameStop than go get a car when I work a couple days at home. Everyone else in my house has a car. My grandpa physically can't even really drive anymore, so I share his car and also like help him out with stuff. So yeah, it's really about knowing yourself as an individual. Is I guess what I'm saying here, and I just fucking love this company, and I really believe in investing, and I also see it as like this time period where I'm living at home. I can put money into things like GameStop and make my money go to work. Whereas down the line, I'm always gonna have a car payment. I'm always gonna have a house payment. So as long as I can go without a car payment, I'm gonna try because I used to have I called it the Millennium Falcon. It was a 2002 Honda Accord. It was sick. I gotta find a picture for you guys. Damn it! Oh, my phone's right here. But yeah, that thing was sick. I missed that car so much. It was a straight beater. So that was really awesome because I never had to worry in it because I was like, some idiot wants to hit me. They're gonna be a lot more angry. I mean, obviously, I wasn't trying to hit people, or I really think I'm a decent driver at least. But yeah, I miss that car, man. I fucking miss it because it was just like chilling, great gas mileage, just hang out. Yeah, good times. Theta Bang Bang. We'll rewatch the start of the stream. I appreciate that, Fresh Maker. Who? Education's the way. Knowledge is power. It's straight facts, X-Bit. Credit card is pretty important to build credit. Gonna be hard to buy a house without it. Very true, Movier. Tetron, it's more like you know how to save money instead of just buying everything at once. Most of my losses were car repairs long ago. Danzo, yeah, honestly, a heart, been working and watching. Hey, mixtape, thank you for being here. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Yeah, because you went to Falcon, right? I literally call it's so funny. I still say to my friends, like, yeah, the Falcon, and they know exactly what I'm talking about, my car. But it was like fixing it is fucking pain. Every time I paid to fix it, I'm like, oh, like I'd rather just not fix it and drive this thing into the ground. And I was able to kind of do that with the Falcon at the time because I knew it eventually had a long-term problem that couldn't be fixed. So then I was like, okay, whatever. And I was able to actually sell it to a dealership despite it like barely even working for $600. I was like, okay. And I got it from my dad for free because he was going to get rid of it. I was sharing it, not sharing it, but I would drive it like on the weekends and when I turned 17. And when I was almost 18, towards the end of high school, because I turned 18 after high school, because I have a late birthday in June. Towards the end of high school, I got the Falcon from him because he was like, obviously he wasn't calling it the Falcon, but he was like, I'm getting rid of this. Like, it needs a whole new exhaust pipe. It's fucked. I'm like, he's like, it's too old. I'm like, no, I want it, yo. I'm like, I don't want to go buy another random beater. At least if I fix the exhaust pipe, I know you've been taking care of it decently. Like, my dad's no car expert guy, but he definitely wasn't driving like fucking a million miles an hour or throwing it in reverse on the highway or some crazy shit, right? Messing up the car. So at least I know what I'm getting. So I was like, all right, just go get a new car and I'll just fix the exhaust pipe and I'll take this. What do you think of that? And he was like, all right, if you really want to, I don't know if that's the best decision. And I even redid the transmission, which was a huge job, and everybody said I was crazy. And I did that 1 year in, and it lasted me until I was 22. It got me through college, and the transmission cost me a couple grand. But at that time, I would have had to go buy a used car for close to 10, probably. Or I mean, I wasn't going to spend cheap or five, whatever. And then who knows how many repairs would have been after that. So I just fixed the transmission. But yeah, it's pretty crazy, guys. Sometimes I just think I'm like, damn, been through so much shit, but like so much shit's to come. But then I also just think like it truly is like someone always has it better than you, and somebody always has it worse. You know, and I'm not trying to ever like I always try to like motivate. I don't know how to describe what I'm saying. Like I always want to motivate myself, but then at the same time, sometimes I feel like I drive myself crazy trying to push myself to be the best that I can be. And I'm like, well, why do I even drive myself crazy like this? Like most people my age are just worried about like what's the party this weekend, you know, or just getting to Friday. Whereas like I'm just simply not thinking like that. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I could think that like, oh yeah, I do more than the average person my age. Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling. But at the same time, there's always gonna be someone out there putting in the work, right? There's someone else if you're sleeping, someone's awake doing something, right? So yeah, I don't know. Total rambles tonight, but really, I love live streaming and rambling to you guys, and I hope it makes sense sometimes because I feel like the end of our stream like this, I'm just going on and on, but it's fucking awesome doing this YouTube stuff. And yeah, I'm actually gonna wrap it up here now. So hope everyone has a good night.